What's in this envelope stands to be the most interesting credit card I've ever owned. This is the Yotta card. Let's open it and talk about the features. Part of the reason why I know that this card is going to be probably the most interesting one that I've ever had is because there's things like no fees. It doesn't show up on your credit report as a credit card, and whenever you use it, you stand a 2% chance of getting whatever you just bought for free. Let's take a look and see what it actually looks like. Heyo! Whenever you start to apply for the card, you can pick the overall design that you want. And I picked the craziest looking one possible, which is this very bubblegum pink, awesome looking one. So it goes over all the benefits that the card has, which let's get into those now. The first benefit that it talks about is building your credit. It says there's no interest, no fees, and your credit limit is simply your savings balance. So it's the money that you have within Yotta is your balance. Now there's a lot to unpack here. Typically with any other credit card, you get a balance that's set up based on your income and your credit worthiness and all these other things. Yotta goes about that a little bit differently because they're essentially using the money that you've already given them in terms of the Yotta savings account as your limit. And so they're not going to loan you money. They're going to just let you temporarily borrow money that you already have. In that aspect, it's almost a little bit more like a secured credit card than it is a normal credit card, which I'm not necessarily against. I don't need that much more credit worthiness, but depending on who you are and how much you're already using Yotta, that could be a real detractor to this thing's benefits. What if you want a $5,000 limit and you've only got $50 in Yotta? Well, that doesn't really help you to get this card. Whenever you look online on their website and you look in the FAQ section and you find the question, are there any fees? Their simple answer is literally one word. No. That's it. No fees. Somehow I doubt that. I don't know how they could get away with zero fees whatsoever, but maybe they just take money back out of your account. I don't know how that works. The next benefit is having 20% tickets back. And what they mean by that is for every $5 you spend on the card, you get a ticket into next week's contest. That's of course how Yotta works. You get tickets that enter you into the sweepstakes and you potentially win cash prizes based on each ticket. They want to keep that game going and keep that kind of human psychology running through your mind. And so you get tickets based on the money that you spend with them. If you're a Yotta veteran, you might be thinking what I'm thinking then, which is, wait a second, if I'm just spending money kind of out of my own account because it's like a secured credit card, isn't that losing me tickets out of the current week's contest? Am I not just trading tickets next week for tickets I'm losing right now? Well, they say right on here, only upside. Never lose tickets in an active contest when you use your card. Pretty interesting. And here's probably my favorite feature, which is your chances of getting free stuff. 1 in 50 odds every time you use this card to get whatever that thing is for free. People have already gotten their rent for free. People have gotten car payments for free and other big things. It's pretty awesome. I've gotten stuff for free with the Yotta Debit Card, not so much yet with the Yotta Credit Card, but I've only used it a couple of times. And because I stand a chance of getting stuff for free, if anything, I'm tempted to put really big purchases on this. I want to get the big stuff for free, not like lunch. I'd rather get something huge and worthwhile. And that leads into the next benefit, which is if you spend $2,000 in the first 4 months, then you get 2,000 bonus tickets. Typically, by my understanding of Yotta, bonus tickets mean that they only last for a single week, and so that's not that big of a benefit. 2,000 bonus tickets in a week is probably only going to get you $10. In my experience anyway. Maybe you're luckier than I am. I hope you are, but in my experience, it's not worth that much. The last benefit that's listed here is that you get a premium metal card if you've referred more than 10 people to Yotta, but you might notice this is not metal, and I've definitely referred more than 10 people. So they are not living up to that promise. Yotta, get on it. I want a metal card. I want a little clangy clang. Let's talk about a few more claims that Yotta makes on their FAQ website. One of the questions they answer is, can this help my credit score and by how much? All they really say is that if you use the card, it can increase your credit score some over time. It's super non-committal. It's not specific. They're just claiming it will help your credit score. So if you really want that out of a credit card, if you're somehow looking for that, I don't know that this is any better than anything else. They don't give us any details on the site, so how are we supposed to know? The next and probably most interesting question is, why does the credit card show up as a loan on my credit report? They say right on Yotta's website that this won't be showing up as a line of credit like a normal credit card will. It shows up as a loan. And it says right on there, this is done for the purpose of diversifying credit types to help boost your score. They reiterate that you're only able to spend your own money from your current Yotta balance. But remember, this is a credit card, it's not a debit card. So it's not like they're just taking money out and paying those bills for you. They actually are going to report this to the major credit bureaus whenever you pay off your card. So it really is kind of like a secured credit card in that way. I'm obviously not Yotta, and so I can't speak for them as far as the motivations of why they structured the card this way. I can't help but think that part of the motivation, though, is just to get us to deposit more money into Yotta. I'm sure financial products are a lot more complicated than we realize and than we give credit. Credit. And so the fact is that it might be really difficult for them to become a credit card company, for all we know. I don't know. Maybe this was the quickest path for them to go from where they were to being able to provide a credit card. Who knows? But for now, know that going into this, if you apply for the card and you get it, you can only spend as much as you have deposited within Yotta. You know, if you think about it though, that could be helpful for you. If you know that you've had a history of overspending, or you know that credit card debt could be a problem for you or has been a problem in the past, something like this might actually be a good idea because you're inherently limited. Could be a good tool. Speaking of your past history with credit cards, another question that they answer on their FAQ site is, how is this different from other credit cards? And they only have basically a one-liner as an answer. With most credit cards, using a large percentage of your available credit limit could negatively impact your credit score, but Yotta doesn't report credit utilization. Interesting. I feel like they're being coy with these little short answers. Do you think they're being coy? It's kind of funny. They mention right on there that there are no fees whatsoever, apparently, somehow. And then if you want to get really nerdy, you can click into the credit sweepstakes official rules and read all the fine print about how the sweepstakes works, about how you get tickets, about your odds of winning anything, your odds of getting purchases for free. It's a lot of legalese and it's not very exciting. The most interesting part of all that fine print is that the maximum prize that you can win whenever you get reimbursed for something is $5,000. So they say, for example, if the winning credit card entry transaction is $7,112, the winner will receive a $5,000 reimbursement. So if you had big plans to buy cars and boats and houses with this thing because you're going to get them for free, it's not going to work out for you. They put that cap of $5,000 on it. The final feature is that it's actually a Mastercard. It's like a Mastercard branded credit card. And so they claim that you have Mastercard zero liability protection built in, which is basically saying that you're never responsible for unauthorized purchases if your card is lost or stolen, which is nice. Overall, on first glance, I think that it's disappointing that I didn't get a metal card, but I like the design overall, I like the features overall, and I don't really have any complaints. I think that their limiting factor here will really be the fact that you have to have that cash deposited within Yotta to use it. I don't think that's going to be appealing to a lot of people, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, leave me a comment. But also if I'm right, leave me a comment, because I think a lot of people, based on my previous credit card videos, are more interested in a credit card being used as a credit card, not so much like a secured credit card or like a pseudo debit card. I've only had access to it either digitally or physically for a few days now. I bought a couple of lunches on it, and I think I bought some gas with it, so nothing too major yet, nothing for free yet, unfortunately. I wish I did get some stuff for free, but I'll keep you updated and we'll do a long-term review of this after, what do you say, 6 months, a year? We'll report back. Yotta is one of those companies that always keeps us on our toes because they're always coming out with these new interesting products. If you want to see more about Yotta, click here to watch the video about the Yotta debit card, and you can compare that to this credit card because it seems like they're fairly similar, but there are a few differences. So click here to watch that video now. Stop in my name.